Hello everyone and welcome back to Arsenal, where we have a pretty important game coming up where we'll be playing Man United. Now, you didn't see the last game against Man United way back on the 11th of September, but we did lose it 2-1, so we're definitely looking to try and, well, win it this time. Last time out, we saw Man City, where we lost 2-1 as well, but then we did beat West Ham 2-0, so not too bad. And since then, we've been on a pretty good streak. We won 4-1 against Chelsea, where Nketiah actually got himself a hat-trick, which was very surprising because obviously, as you would have seen last episode, Jesus is out injured. Well, he's back now, but he was out injured, which meant that we had to put Nketiah up front, and he did actually manage to get a hat-trick, and his final goal, if we play it here, yeah, so it started off with a corner, Martinelli puts it in, then White gets it, sends it back to Martinelli, tries to go for a goal himself, but it doesn't work. Chelsea then regain possession of the ball, they run it down the field, try and lob it over, but our keeper, he decides, you know what, I'm just going to whack it all the way over all the defenders, and Nketiah heads it. Kepa came out of the box to try and grab it, wasn't able to do it, and Nketiah's header actually managed to get it in the net. So that's how we won 4-1 against Chelsea. Admittedly, that's only in the Carabao Cup, so wasn't that important, but still. Then we won against Fulham, this team on a friendly, West Ham, Newcastle, Leicester, Crystal Palace, Nottingham Forest. Then we lost to Wolves in the Carabao Cup quarter-final on a 90-plus 4-minute penalty. Which, yeah, that was incredibly frustrating because if we'd have not given away the penalty, it would have gone to penalties and then we might have been able to win, but never mind. And then immediately after that, probably lack of motivation, I guess, we lost against Everton 2-0 in the Premier League. But then we won against Aston Villa, so not too bad. But the reason this particular match is so important is because if we have a look at the league table, we are still top, because Man City have not dropped any points at all. Which means that, yeah, there's now only a 3-point gap. So if we lose to Man United and City win, then we'll still be top on goal difference, but we would be tied on points, which, yeah, is not the sort of situation we want to be in against Man City. We have been pretty busy in the transfer window because we didn't really make any signings in the summer window, but that's mainly because I just wanted to see how the squad worked. But we've sold Eddie Nketiah to Man United for 35 million. It was only 18 million up front, but it will become 35 million eventually, which, to be honest, I thought I'd just cash in because he was never really going to be good enough, and 35 million is a lot of money for him. And it is, in fact, the record transfer fee going out from Arsenal, because before it was Fabregas, I think, for like 20 odd million. So yeah, definitely the highest fee we've ever received. And in terms of players we've actually bought, we have brought in Marcus Leonardo for 17 million. He's a 19-year-old striker. He has got 5-star potential, so he should be pretty good for us eventually. And we've just sent him back out on loan on the team we bought him from. And then we've also bought Abdul Fatawu for like 4 million or something, and he's got a 4-star potential. He's gone out on loan to Preston. How much was it? Yeah, 2.4 million. There we go. We've also bought Thiago Almada, who is a pretty good backup for attacking midfield and the wing, because at the moment, other than him, we don't really have anyone that can back up those positions. And he's a 3-star, 4-star potential, and we only paid 18.5 million for him, which isn't too bad. And then we also went in for Max Aarons from Norwich. In the end, he can cost us 35.5 million, which is a substantial amount of money for a player who's not amazing, but we needed a backup right back, because if we go on a squad planner, the only people that can play right back are Tomiyasu and Cedric. That's it. I mean, technically, I think Ben White can, and so can Tierney, but I don't want them to play in right back. That's not where they are supposed to play. So we needed a backup, and that is what Max Aarons is. He's going to be the backup to Tomiyasu, especially because Tomiyasu is currently wanted by Bayern, and he's unhappy that I didn't let him go because I did actually bid for him, but we need him, and you know he's a very good right back, so we couldn't afford to get rid of him. We also have Nicholas Seiwald. Not sure if I'm saying it right, but we have him coming in. We paid 18 million, which could go up to 28 million. He's a ball-winning midfielder. 2.5 star, 4-star potential. Again, we're getting him in because in terms of defensive midfield, we've got Partey and Xhaka, but neither of them are getting any younger. And we don't really have anyone else. We have Sambi Lokonga, who obviously has played a few games for us, but he is currently wanted by Man United and Valencia. So we have transfer listed him for 35 million because, I mean, if we can get that for him, then that is a pretty good fee. But I'm not going to purposely try and get rid of him at the moment. However, Cywald is coming in June. So, yeah, if we do end up selling Lokonga, then we will have a bit of a gap in defensive midfield, but it's not too bad. We did try to go for this guy, another wing back, but he was rejected. So we weren't able to get rid of him. In terms of selling players, we are getting rid of Rob Holding, and we are also getting rid of El Neni. They are both leaving at the end of the season, so we've still got them for now because we needed them for backups, especially Holding in that centre-back role. And we actually managed to get 15 million for Rob Holding, which I think is not too bad. Reece Nelson as well, actually. He ended up going on a free. He's leaving at the end of the season as well. We could have renewed his contract and got a little bit of money for him, but you know, he's 23 and his potential ability really isn't that good, so I didn't think it was worth it, to be honest. Oh yeah, one goal I did want to show you guys is Smith Rowe's goal against Aston Villa. It was just insane. It was an absolute screamer. Here we go, yeah. So we get the ball and Smith Rowe just turns around and just smacks it straight into the goal from miles out. That was, yeah, probably the best goal I've seen from these guys. So that was definitely a highlight in our game against Aston Villa. But next up, we do have Man United. Ben White is suspended. They've got 3 players out injured. McTominay, De Gea, and Rafael Varane, and Cristiano Ronaldo is doubtful. That is very helpful for us because, especially De Gea, as well as Ronaldo, if he doesn't actually play, that could mean we might be in for a chance of a result here. We're going to switch to balanced just to the beginning. And in terms of lineup, we've got Jesus up front, Martinelli, Odegaard, Saka, Partey, Lokonga. The normal, but we are playing Aarons in right back just because Tomiyasu... Actually, I don't know why we're playing. I was going to say because he's injured, but he's not. So we'll chuck Tomiyasu on, and then we can put Aarons on a little bit later as a sub if we need to. But you can see people are starting to lose fitness. We've had a pretty packed schedule of games. You've got Partey who is losing fitness, Odegaard losing fitness. I think the rest of them are okay at the moment. But that is the lineup that we are going to use to try and beat Man United. Yeah, in terms of the tactic, we are pretty much just sticking with the gegenpress because, you know, we did try and use as Martinelli puts it in the net immediately, 10 minutes in. But yeah, like against City, we did try and use a more defensive tactic and it just didn't work. We have gone like slightly less attacking, so we've dropped the tempo and we've also... No, I think that's it, to be honest. We've dropped the tempo and we've dropped the passing as well. But it seems to work so far. Saka has taken a knock and it's indicating he wants to come off. We'll probably do that because we really can't afford another long-term injury as our players get in the way of a shot from Man United there. Saka passes it on to Odegaard, who sends it down the wing, which is a bit weird because he is the attacking midfielder, but he sends it down the wing onto Martinelli, who heads it and gets a second goal, I think. I think he scored the first, didn't he? Yeah, he did score the first. That's his second goal. 15 minutes in and we are 2-0 up already. We need to replace Saka and they suggest putting Zinchenko on, which is a bit of a weird one. Who else could we put on? Smith Rowe. Probably put Smith Rowe on, to be honest. So we'll put Smith Rowe on and he can go on the right wing. They've actually got Nketiah on and he's tackled Gabriel and he passes it on to Sancho, who scores. Our sale of Nketiah has come back to bite us. At least he didn't score it himself. That would have been even more annoying. But they are on the ball once again. They're going to try and float it into Nketiah, but there is no gap to get the ball to him. We definitely aren't the better team at the moment. We've only had 3 shots, 3 on target. They've had 5 and 2. In terms of XG, it says that we are definitely not the better team. So how we're 2-1 up already, I don't know. And that is 3-1 up. But it might be offside. I think they're about to check it on VAR. Who on earth is that in goal? They definitely don't have De Gea. Didn't actually show the animation there, but we are 3-1 up now. Who did they have in goal? Dubra. I can't even say the name. Dubravka. That's who they've got in goal. To be fair, he's a 3-star, but I think this is his first ever game for Man United. They got him on loan from Newcastle, which is a bit of a weird one. They've got their backup keeper on loan. Not sure what they're doing there. And yeah, obviously Ronaldo isn't on the pitch because Nketiah is instead. On to the second half. We are still not the better team. We've had 5 shots, 5 on target. We are on the ball again. Smith Rowe onto Tomiyasu. In the box, maybe onto the header of Jesus. Not quite. Sambi Lokonga onto Tomiyasu. Not able to do too much with it. Tries to win a throw-in, but isn't able to. And Thomas onto Martinelli, who almost gets it in the bottom left corner of the goal to put us 4-1 up. But unfortunately not. Odegaard potentially smack it right there into the left corner. He has been pretty good on free kicks recently. And there we go. 4-1 up. I was not expecting this. I was expecting it to be a much more difficult game than this. And still, on XG, we just about managed to hit the 1 now, but we are certainly outperforming what we should be. 65 minutes in, we should probably make a couple of subs. Odegaard has been playing amazingly, but we don't want him injured. So we're going to put Zinchenko on. Partey will swap out El Neni, maybe. And we'll give Aaron's a game. So we'll put those guys on. And then that should give us 1 sub left if we need to sub anyone off. Realise I've left a setting on which shows the player names of everyone all the time, which is quite useful for commentary, but I don't know if that's like annoying for you guys. So Bruno Fernandes on the ball and somehow fails to convert it into a goal. United have possession once again. Malaysia onto Rashford, onto Bruno Fernandes. Can he do it this time? He can. And that is now 4-2. We just need to hold out for the last, 20 minutes, and then we should be okay. We'll drop back a little bit. Take those off and just drop the lines a little bit, and then hopefully we can see the rest of this game out to the end. 5 minutes left, and we do have a highlight, and it does start with the United players, which is a little bit concerning. Long ball over to Fred, picks it up onto Sancho, and a nice through ball onto Fernandes. Isn't able to do anything with it though, and just ends up putting it into box onto one of our players. And that's the end of that highlight, and hopefully that's the end of all highlights. And we can get to the end. Nope, we got one more highlight at the end of this game. Tierney heads it onto Fred, who's going to... just gives it back to Tierney anyway. Not too much of an issue there then. Not sure what's going to come of this highlight yet, to be honest. Seems to be not really anything happening. Just both of us losing possession. Apart from the fact that you've got Anthony, and he's not able to do anything there. Martinelli is going to run it up the wing, pass it to somebody maybe. I'm not sure. Is there anyone there? Onto Zinchenko, who manages to get a goal. But I think that was Almada, wasn't it? That actually got that goal, but it might be offside. We will wait and see. Disallowed. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. We were 4-2 up anyway. Would have been nice for Almada to have got a goal, but doesn't matter anyway. Well done, lads. Good win for us, and that keeps us top of the table, at least 3 points ahead. City haven't played their game yet, so we don't know if we're going to be able to increase our gap or not. Not sure who they're playing. We'll have a look. Who are they going to be playing? It will be... it's because they've got United in the FA Cup, so we're going to actually have to wait a little while, but they will be playing Bournemouth next. I fully expect them to win that. But next up, we will have Nottingham Forest. Or will we? No, we'll have Lincoln just before the January transfer deadline in the FA Cup. What is it with injuries on this game? I've noticed not just me as well. Like everybody else is just getting so many long injuries. I don't know if like they've just increased the amount of injuries in this game now, but it's impossible to deal with. At least everyone else has come back from injury now. I think he's the only person that's injured. So, yeah, I think we'll be able to deal with that. But if we have another winger that gets injured, then we are going to have ourselves some issues. So, next up, we have the Lincoln City game, which, we definitely should be winning. We have made Tomiyasu quite upset. If we have a look here, His happiness is pretty bad because he's unable to join FC Bayern because they did come in again with an offer for like 50 odd million, which any other time I probably would have taken, but we would have 2 days to find a replacement, and we're currently in a title fight, so I did not fancy it. I noticed that we've had quite a few manager movements. So if we go on to the Premier League, you can see Chelsea sacked Graham Potter, and now Luis Enrique is actually the new manager. After I did notice that John Terry had a little stint as a caretaker manager. Also, we have had Fulham sacked Marco Silva, Tottenham sacked Conte, and they haven't actually got a new manager yet. Aston Villa sacked Steven Gerrard, like they did in real life, but they didn't bring in the same manager as in real life because they brought in Joachim Low and obviously ourselves there. So, yeah, quite a few manager movements going on. But what we need to focus on for today is the Lincoln City game. We're going to go a bit more attacking than we did in the United game because I think we can probably afford to. We probably don't need to play Jesus, do we? Well, actually, we don't have anyone else, do we? Because the only other one is Martinelli and he's on the wing. So we could put Martinelli up there and then maybe put Almada on the left. We could do that. Tomiyasu can play in the bottom right. Or should we put Cedric on? We'll put Cedric on, why not? And then we'll give Matt Turner a game. So a minute in and we've already got a highlight with them on the ball, but we do manage to recover it. Be interesting to see what sort of tactic they play, because I have noticed that these sort of lower league teams play counter-attacking against us, obviously. And in this year's match engine, if you're a lower side team, it does actually work pretty well. But not much can be done about the fact that we are simply a much better team, and that's how we've already scored within 2 minutes with Odegaard getting the goal there and Vieira on the assist. They actually are playing a 4-3-3. I was expecting maybe like a 5 at the back, a pretty defensive formation, but they do seem to think that they might have a chance in this game. Got another highlight 10 minutes in, and I've turned off the option to have player names because it's quite annoying. We seem to just be passing it around our box for some reason. This is not attacking football, is it? It's more possession-based, and that is not what I've asked him to play. But Almada, straight onto Odegaard, and he should be able to slot that in, but he doesn't. Keeper saves it. We have a corner. Let's see what we can do from that. Odegaard will be taking the corner into maybe Thomas on the head. Doesn't look like it, but Sammy Lokonga goes for the shot, but sends it sky high. And that was never reaching the net. I mean, they haven't even registered a single shot, let alone a shot on target. They haven't registered a single shot. We've had 13 of them, including 5 on target. We've got Odegaard taking a free kick. We've seen him score many of these. Will he score another one? Unfortunately not. Sammy Lokonga sends it back to Odegaard, and will he have a second attempt? He does, and he gets it in the net. And that is 2-0, and 2 goals for Odegaard. Immediately another highlight. So many highlights here, and they're all just us, which I suppose is to be expected. Thomas, a very long ball over to Vieira. I thought that might have looked a bit offside, but they don't seem to be checking it. So 3-0 up already, 30 minutes in. Gabriel, is he going to do a long ball? No, he just sends it back to Turner for some reason, who himself does do a long ball. Onto Sambi Lokonga, and back to Turner. What are we doing? We want to go towards their goal, not keep giving it back to our keeper. Looks like they're trying to play dirty because they've had 4 yellow cards. And we managed to lose the ball, but we've got it back. Zinchenko onto Lokonga, over the top, onto Almada, and Jesus almost gets a goal straight away from coming in, but it hits the post and goes the wrong way. They are now down to 10 men, actually, because this guy, Diamond, has been injured, and they can't bring anyone on. But, I mean, they've only got to last out the next 2 minutes. And that's it. We have won 3-0. And we continue our pursuit of potentially winning the FA Cup. It is the thing that Arsenal like to win. So, it would be nice. I don't know who we will get in the next round. But we will see. These are the other results. Are there any shock exits? Chelsea beat Villa, which I suppose makes sense. Blackpool beat Hull. We go further down. Newcastle won. Tottenham have been knocked out by Fulham. And City have beat United, so that does help us. I mean, we will probably end up having to play City if we progress a fair bit further in this. Looks like we can beat Chelsea, but beating City is going to be difficult. So, overall, a couple of very good games. A 3-0 win against Lincoln City, which was, an expected win. And then also the 4-2 win against United, which could prove crucial. But other than that, thank you very much for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment, all that fantastic stuff. And I'll see you next time.